tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting louder, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting louder, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. We're claiming our land.
I hate this show. Oh my goodness. All right. Welcome everybody to a Tuesday night edition of Are You Smarter Than a Politician? This is the political cage match where bold solutions win and bad ideas get wrecked. Tonight, truth is under attack, not by accident, but by systems fighting to control what you see, what you hear, and what you believe. This is the age of distrust. AI is shaping reality, media shaping narratives, government expanding power, and you're left asking what's real and who's lying. Three notable political minds step up tonight to go head to head on the issues that hit your rights, your money, and your freedom. Because if no one trusts the institutions anymore, who decides what's true? Get ready, because tonight you decide who is smarter than a politician. Joining us tonight, back for, I believe, his fourth time or third time, Brent Freeman. He is the host of the Aiming Up podcast. You can find it on YouTube and X. He also runs the excellent merch company, anarchosyndicate.com, where they have a really great partnership with Maj Touré and Black Guns Matter. You can follow him on X, B Gets Better, or Aiming Up Podcast. How are you tonight, Brent?
Awesome, man. It's the third time, by the way. Two for two so far. I'm not so confident this time. We got some stiff competition, so we'll see if we can make it 3-0.
Plug everything you're doing, bud.
Yeah, so Aiming Up Podcasts and Narco Syndicate clothing, man. Like I've got something coming up I'm working on with Rob Yates. Can't really talk about it now, but maybe we'll hear about it in the future.
Oh, interesting. A little teaser action there.
Mm-hmm.
I like people drop info. I like breaking news on here. It might be just a game show, but we do news sometimes. Joining us for the second time. I don't know if anybody saw him the last time he was on. He was only on YouTube briefly, but he was on X for the whole 15-minute segment during our You Are the Power fundraiser, the 3.5-hour spectacular we did on that. It is Adam Johnson. You may know him as Lectern Leader. He is a candidate for county commissioner in Manatee County, doing the important stuff like we always talk about, running for local office. You can check him out, see his platform, and donate to him on voteadamjohnson.com. And like I said, he's the lectern guy. He's the author of Taking a Stand, pun intended. And his website is unlicensedfurnituremovers.com. You can find him on X at Lectern Leader. How are you tonight, Adam?
Man, it's going to be a great night. Really excited. Did a podcast with Brent on his platform. Really enjoyed hanging out a couple weeks ago with you guys. And I love open debate, open forum, trying to figure out the solutions, because none of us have all the answers. It takes all the conversations coming together to find the best way through.
That is 100% true. Plug what you're doing, your campaign, and all of that, please.
I'm running for Manatee County Commissioner, District 1. My website is voteadamjohnson.com. I spent the past few years doing the whole influencer thing, hanging out, making, connections and getting a good Rolodex. And that was a lot of fun. Did a lot of good things. But I realized that at the end of it, the best thing you can do is actually fix your backyard. So we took a step back from that. We're not traveling this year. We are just hanging out in our backyard, running for local office because my backyard matters.
All right, so last time you were on, I had one rule for you. Don't take any of my furniture. We have a new rule tonight. No gold pew-pews on screen. Can you abide by? We had no rules before. I'm an anarchist. We had no rules. Now we have 2 rules because of you. Can you abide by our rules tonight?
All my firearms are all the way over there, so we're good to go.
Excellent. Yeah. Put the wheel lock on your chair and just stay right where you're at. Awesome. Last but not least, my buddy Hector Roos. He is the chair of LP of Miami-Dade County, and he's also the director of Florida Can, which is flcan.org. You can find him on X at Roos for Florida, as well as at FLCanDoIt. How are you tonight, Hector?
Great. Thanks for having me. Happy St. Patty's Day. We're all, it is the season to be married.
Yeah, you're a little bit muffled. I don't know if you're covering your mic or something, or, but plug everything you're doing.
Doing a lot. Let's see. Let me know if my audio gets better.
No, it sounds like you're in a Florida can right now. Is what it sounds like.
Probably. Let's see.
Now you're muted.
Let's see if that tries. If that's better.
That's better. Yeah,
that's a lot better. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, so I'm wearing a couple of hats. I'm as well as you said I'm the chair of the Libertarian Party of Miami-Dade County. That's the largest county affiliate in Florida, associated with the Libertarian Party of Florida. I'm also director with the Florida Cannabis Action Network. Try not to say that word too many times because that's also one of those, you can't talk about guns and you can't talk about that too often. But it's almost an organization that's almost 3 decades old. That's been anti-prohibition, free the plant, and really try to end the war as it is on drugs, because everything's actually ties right back to it. And it's really excited to be part of this and part of a movement that even we're in this the Make America Healthy Again movement, probably the most effective political movement I've seen in the last election cycle. Really have an influence on policy. So it's all come together. It feels really nice to see that people are coming out of the woodwork. They're demanding their rights. The people who felt like political prisoners or were stifled by the media are having outlets like this one. Even if it's fun and even if it's just fun, it's an outlet. It's a platform. And by the way, Adam's a hero of mine, and so is everybody else who were brothers in arms on that day. And I have to say, I've never heard of someone get into so much trouble since kindergarten for moving one piece of wood to another part of the room.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad to be here. It makes me it fulfills definitely a wish list of mine to be on the same platform as another fellow Floridian.
Yeah, excellent. We got a bunch of Floridians here. Speaking of which, Terry Batts, how are you tonight, Terry?
I'm good. I am so looking forward to these guys tonight. It's going to be fun. Great senses of humor, intelligence, and good looking all at the same time. What more could a girl ask for? Let's go.
All right. Let's jump into it here, and please share this out. We've had a lot of problems, not all of them caused by Adam, but maybe some of them. But please share this out on all the platforms. Try to bust the algorithm, as Casey says. I am on X at Smarter Game Show. Terry is at Bats T76. Amity and Casey help us behind the scenes. She's Amity Lee 13. He is American versus Gov. Our merch is available at freedomsuperstore.com. I am wearing the Make Anarchy Great Again shirt tonight. We have shirts and mugs there. We already did that. I forgot a couple. Let me just, I'm jumping around tonight. Our Tuesday night sponsor is Zoom. And If you believe adults should be free to explore their own consciousness and you're looking for a modern, precision-dosed psychedelic experience, check out zoomtrip.com and see what they're building over there. That is XUMTRIP.com, and we appreciate them sponsoring us on Tuesday night. We've got 3 more conventions coming up. We will be in North Carolina, March 27th through 29th. Then we've got Texas and Colorado next month. And then we end up the tour at the National Convention, May 21st through 25th in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We're really excited about that and hope to see a bunch of people there that we know. Thank you to all of our subscribers, 20 strong now. We appreciate you all. Terry, Amity, Ocean Blue, Shirley, Dr. Blaine, Lisa, Dan, Chris, Casey, Dave, Jake, Phil, Jake from the If by Whiskey podcast, Casey from the They Both Suck podcast, and Jacob Winograd from the Biblical Anarchy podcast. Then there's Brent right there with his Anarcho Syndicate clothing line and his Aiming Up podcast. And then we've got Phil, Papa B, Lars Mapstead, Grumpy Gnome, Jay, Anarchist Chef, and our newest subscriber, Heather. Thank you all very much. If you want to subscribe to us, you get all this cool stuff. It is your backstage pass, and it helps us fund all the cool stuff we're doing. And if you'd like to sponsor us, email studio@freedomuncut.com. All right. So since Trump ruined peace prizes, we made our own peace prize as the grand prize for the game. This is the Are You Smarter Than a Peace prize. Also on the prize shelf, we have Mike Johnson's signature cologne Swamp Ass, as well as the Ayn Rand Fountainhead teddy bear. We have the home edition of Are You Smarter Than a Politician if you want to annoy your friends and neighbors. We also have the assorted lot of libertarian and pro-freedom bobbleheads. We've got Massey, Amash, Ron Paul, lots of cool people on there. We also have the new board game, Neoconopoly. Very timely. It's the game of global domination. If you want to take over other countries, topple their regimes, steal their resources, whatever the hell we're doing, bombing their speedboats, whatever you want to do. It's a good game to teach your kids about world domination. Also, in honor of St. Patrick's Day, we have the St. Patrick's Gadsden flag, no step on Sneck. And we also, why do you need a piggy bank when you have a central bank? We have our very own dollar destroyer right here. You just put the dollar in and it gets ruined right away. And because Brent and Jacob Winograd and I were talking this on Spaces one night, so I had to make it. This is the do-it-yourself wood chipper. What's more libertarian than making your own wood chipper? It's a 3D printed wood chipper.
Hey, free one thing. We want to make sure we understand that only works feet first. That this particular model, we talked about that in the Spaces.
Is that what it is? Yeah,
correct. Yes,
I'm sure there's detailed instructions that go along with it. Since I made it, it's probably figure it out yourself kind of thing. All right, and of course we have the Trump nativity set. Nobody will take this piece of shit off my hands, so somebody has to take it home with them tonight. We paid a tariff on it. And of course, we have the Lego Killdozer because nobody talks about the Killdozer more than me and Casey do. Here are the rules. I am the government. Whatever I say goes. Scoring errors count. Life isn't fair. Suck it up, Buttercup. Nobody cares. The rules are they have one debate, one filibuster. They can veto each other, tariff an answer, redistribute an answer like a Democrat would. And everybody starts off with negative 500 points because, of course, the government gets paid first. Here's how scoring works. The chat controls the score. Give or take up to 100 points from the contestants. Tell us why. Don't tell us why. Talk about their interior design, whatever you want to do. And also, because I am the government and I believe in crony capitalism, subscribers can give or take up to 200 points because they pay me, so their opinion matters more. Nuking a score. Any former contestant can nuke a score, taking it down by 1,000 points. The twist is a contestant can only be nuked one time, and it has to be for a good reason. Let's jump into the chat real quick, see what's going on. I'm all out of sorts today. All right, there's Shirley joining us from across the pond. Welcome. Excuse me, Brandon's here. Good evening. Casey's here. X chat and YouTube. Is that? I don't know what we're talking about.
Hey, Casey.
Kilburn's here. Thanks for the repost, buddy. First 200 to Adam for the prettiest hair. Excuse me.
Dare you?
I'm in the room.
Dare
I'm in
you?
the room. Yeah. There he is, Anarchist Chef right there. 200 punk is fuck points to Rob Yates collab with Brent. Yeah, like that was a good teaser. What's up, Chris? Welcome home, Adam. 200 to Brent for his base podcast, especially last Thursday's episode. I missed that one. Was that any good? I must have deleted it or something. Oh, Amity was on that. No, I did watch that one. Waz is here. What's up, Waz? 200 to Hector for repping the Shamrocks. Angela's here. What's up, Angela? Hey, everybody. It's Travis. 100 to Adam for moving Nancy's lectern. Yeah.
Well, it's the people's lectern.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, I paid for that.
In more ways than one.
It was less heavy than moving her stock portfolio, though, right? Hector, 100 to Adam for being on the show and not showing off his arms. Grumpy Gnome's here. What's up, buddy?
Hey,
check out his 2 shots in show. 200 to Adam for the globe in the background. Happy to see he's not a flat earther. You never know on this show. You never know. Mike Vitko's here. What's up? Check out the Vitko verdict. He just did a show earlier. I reposted it. It's in my stream, so check that out. All right, let's get to it. I will put Terry in the back. She controls the chat and the score. Make her life extremely difficult. Thank you, Terry. All right, Brent, to you. First question. Categories information crisis in the digital age. Should news outlets be required to clearly disclose government funding or partnerships?
I think anybody who is being paid to manipulate the media through the government should have to disclose that. So not just the big media operations, but I'm talking Benny Johnson. I'm talking all the people that are involved in, the social media space. Like, everyone should have to disclose it. And sorry about that. I'm getting paged at work. So let me just turn that off.
That might cost you a few points there.
Yeah, definitely. I could get penalized.
We need your full attention. Your full attention. Eyes up here. Adam, to you. Should social media companies lose legal protections if they censor political viewpoints?
I don't think they should have legal protections at all if they are the free market space for ideas and discussion, period. I think they should just be open format. Their entire algorithm should be open to everyone. You get platformed based and promoted based on whether they're getting paid by someone else or, they're promoting their own ideologies.
I like that. Hector, to you. Should government agencies be allowed to pressure tech companies to remove political content? You're muted.
Hell no. They should not be allowed to tell them what to do with their technology, like the AI company that just told the Department of Defense to go, we're going to send our AI to open source and let the public have it instead of you guys. So absolutely not. Technology is the great, and education is the great equalizer of society and of history, and we gotta protect that, 100%.
All right. You're still a little quiet. I don't know if there's any other magic can work with your mic there, but we will deal with it if that's what we get. Brent, to you, the category is artificial intelligence and truth verification. Should AI-generated images or video in political campaigns be required to carry a warning label?
Yeah, I would say so. I think with all the quackery around AI generated content as of late, I think it's just a good idea generally. If the government's involved in something and there's AI involved in it in any way, put a warning label on that shit. Sure.
Yeah. BB put a St. Patrick's Day message in my feed if anybody wants to check it out. So yeah, I'm sure he's fine. He just wanted to shout out all of us Irish. So Adam, to you. Should tech companies be allowed to train AI systems on copyrighted news content without permission?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. You're talking about two private entities entering in a contract. I think it depends on what one company is willing to sign over the other.
Okay. A good politician answering without answering. I'll give it to you.
I mean, it's two private companies.
All right, Hector, to you. Should citizens trust AI systems to fact check political claims during elections?
No. No. It's about reputation management. So the platforms that have the reputation and trust of the public should be the trusted source for fact checking, not just a random AI. Because AI is just another word for computer program, and it's as good as garbage in, garbage out. So, no.
All right. Brent, back to you. The category is the military industrial complex. Should defense contractors have less influence over foreign policy decisions?
I don't know if there's a way I can more emphatically say yes to this one. Like, defense contractors are the bane of my existence. Like, all of us are poorer and less safe because of the influence of defense contractors. Just look at what's happening in Iran. We're just blowing the shit out of a country using very, very, expensive weapons, the highest, precision guided munitions, blowing the shit out of a bunch of them. And guess what? Now we have to restock. Boeing, Raytheon, all these DoD contractors, they're making out like gangbusters while people are dying overseas, and we're becoming poorer and less safe. Like emphatically, yes.
You don't think those schools were threatening America?
No, yeah, clearly, any day now, after 47 years in, and it was imminent.
Yeah. Got to watch out for the girls' schools in Iran plotting against us. Adam, to you. Should defense policy prioritize national defense over global intervention?
Yes, absolutely. I think Congress gets to declare war. I don't really see any need to declare war unless our own shorelines are being threatened. So absolutely national defense should be prioritized over anything else. Our economy is in the shitter right now. People can't afford to eat. So I think anything we're doing overseas should be stopped for the foreseeable future until we figure out our own backyards.
I like it. Hector's back. Welcome back, Hector. All right. To you, Hector. Should Congress audit defense spending more aggressively?
It would be nice if they actually audited it formally. We haven't for once. But yes, aggressively. How about just please, sir, another? They've not passed an audit in forever. So really, at the end of the day, we haven't even fully audited Medicare, let alone the Defense Department, and how many golden toilets have been sent and dropped on Iran just this week.
Yeah, or they're eating lobster and steak in DC, and they got a grand piano for somebody's house, or whatever the latest release was. Brent, back to you. The category is U.S. intervention in Venezuela and Iran. Should American foreign policy prioritize diplomacy over force?
Clearly. And how about not even prioritize over? How about we do diplomacy ever in any situation? It feels like, particularly with this administration, it's just bellicose foreign policy where it's saber rattling and art of the deal, and basically just ends in countries capitulating to our tariff policy, or we just bomb the shit out of them and take the resources. And it's getting more and more that direction. Trump is like, oh, we're just going to take Cuba now. We're just going to take it. We're going to take Greenland. We're going to take... This is insanity. Like, maybe get an adult in the room and have some diplomacy.
Yeah. I might take it. I might not take it. I might take it. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't even know what he's doing. Adam, to you. Should military action be considered against governments viewed as hostile to the U.S.?
You would have to define hostile. And I think that's kind of where we're missing the connotation of words. Someone who disagrees with the U.S. is not necessarily an enemy. Someone who is actively engaging citizens to do acts of terrorism against the U.S., that's a separate conversation. So should the government be involved in taking over countries or going to war with countries? Again, it's an act of Congress. I don't think a president should be engaged in these things. I think the people send people to Congress to vote on these things. Whether we actually get good Congress people or not, it's a separate question. But no. At large, no.
Yeah, you just answer the question. Do we get good Congress people? The answer is no.
Yeah. I mean...
All right, Hector, to you. Should the U.S. avoid military escalation in regional conflicts?
Absolutely. What the source of all escalation of violence in the world right now is only a handful of countries and they all have something tied to us us as the U.S. So absolutely, they should avoid it. They should avoid the entangling relationships. They should get out of NATO. They probably should get out of the UN at this point, like they've already done for the health, the healthcare mafia, global mafia. So yeah, that's the only way to avoid escalation is to pull yourself back. This is true in any individual situation as well as between nations.
All right. Back to you, Brent. The category is unauthorized military action and constitutional war powers. Should presidents have emergency authority to act militarily without oversight?
You know, in our current model, in our Republican, model of governance, I would say, and with a standing army, let's put it that way too, because really the founders, they banned a standing military. It was only supposed to exist for 2 years maximum. They thought a standing military was the worst thing that could possibly happen. But that is a baseline, right? Yeah, like the president, if you're being directly attacked, right, you might not have time for Congress to act and approve a war powers resolution or whatever. And so, and that was what it was for, right? The president was supposed to be able to, defend the country from imminent attack. And, I think that's, fine as a general principle. But it's like, no one gives a shit about the Constitution anyway. We're not following it. And, that's on display every day in the news.
Yeah, so true. Adam, to you. Should presidents be able to launch military strikes without congressional approval?
Well, this is going to cause me to double speak. I just said we need congressional approval, but to Brent's point, there are moments where you elect someone to be the chief of our defense and the chief of our military, and sometimes you don't have an opportunity to hash things out because lives are at stake. And I think it comes down to, do we believe that American lives are more valuable than other citizens' lives that don't reside in our country? And that's a very difficult question because not everyone interjects themselves into war. Sometimes it's just the larger powers who start wars, and, we have collateral damage. So I think presidents, they are offered the ability to do this, whether they should do it or not. I hope they are in a good enough moral standing and are right with Jesus before they make the decision they do.
Interesting. All right. Hector, you had a little background noise there, so I muted you, but you're unmuted now. Your question is, should war powers be more strictly defined in law?
I think they are pretty well defined in law as it is.
Hold on a second. You're really loud now.
I'm suing.
You're suing. All right. Let me bring that down a notch. Okay, that should be better.
It's much clearer, and if you leave it on the desk, I think you're fine. But if you touch the desk, it booms. So watch the desk.
No problem. It's I got a different kind of mic on actually. See what I mean? So the point is war powers are really well spelled out. This is like the laws between nations that have been established for 200 years since original Geneva Convention in the mid 19th century. So what the definition of war is, war powers, war making, reasons for war go back all the way back to St. Augustine. I mean, this is not really 1,000 years ago. I mean, this isn't really something that is even controversial about war powers. But we have vested a lot of authority of war making powers in this country to one person who sits in the White House, and that's the problem. We have too much concentration of this power, and it can be easily abused and misused. So that's where we're at.
The chat's killing me right now.
Can I add on to that?
Absolutely. If you can hear any of us.
What?
Yeah.
I can. So I think he's absolutely right. And if you talk about the framing of war powers and how we have logistically done it, how we're legally done it for the past couple hundred years, like we are not in the same space anymore. Like one person who wanted to declare war on a country was a guy with a musket, right? Couldn't really wield enough real power to literally go to war with a country. We have people with supercomputers. We have people with much higher technology that can actually wage pretty effective war on at least a county, at least a city. Like the war powers have changed, and the people who can wage war without the effect of whatever governance, whatever laws we have written exist now in a different way. So if we're talking about, should war powers exist as they always have, as they've been constitutionally written, I think at some point we should have an honest conversation about where technology and where the individual is able to declare war and actually wage war against other countries as an individual.
All right. Great points. All right. Enter your scores in the chat if you've not done so already. Hector is about to get it from the chat from what I saw. But I muted you again there, Hector. There was some background noise or something. I can't even hear. I don't even know what's going on. All right. So 200 to Adam for waving at all the chat folks, and Terry, so polite. Minus 13 to Brent for the siren pager going off. Close the airlock, Brent, quick. 200 safety points first, or safety first points. Minus 13 to Hector for being muted. That's the least of his problems at this point. 200 to Hector for free speech tech. Influenza coughs a lot is coughing in our chat. Welcome. 200 to Adam. 100 to Brent for AI, but it's usually easy to tell even for people as bad as tech as me. BB has too many ear holes today. Oh, I didn't even see that one. 200 points to Lectern Leader for the Shamrock smoking jacket. 200 to Adam for private companies making their own agreements. 100 to Roos. 200 to Adam, banger, really, if you think about it deep enough. 200 to Hector for looking more like a gnome than I do. That's an insult. We've figured out a couple episodes that he's related to Christy Gnome, too, if you want to throw that back at him. 200 to Adam, stop overseas ops immediately. 200 to Hector, audit the DOD now. Rob Yates, who's running for LNC chair, is here. Sup, peeps. 200 to Brent for being based as hell.
Love you, buddy.
Coco Slim's here. What's up? Minus 100 to Brent for being in cahoots with Rob. I did think that could cost you. I did think people do not like cahoots. And another 117 to Brent for bellicose. Yeah, that for sure. 200 to Brent, no more saber rattling. 100 to Brent, can't just take any country. 200 to Brent, not knowing how to wear a hat.
This is intentional, sir.
Yeah.
I love Grumpy so much. I met him in DC 2 years ago now. Super nice guy. Like, just came up like, hey, and by the way, I'm Grumpy on Twitter. I'm like, I love your stuff. You're always commenting, always laughing. So love that guy.
I think you're thinking of somebody else. That might have been somebody else. And I wanted to add up, I'm hoping that Brent and Rob have a wearing your hat online tutorial, because that would be lit. 92 to Adam, you have lovely hair. 200
Should I do
for
the Rob
Honest
the rest
Adam.
of the time?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You both have hat stuff. 100 to Hector, get out of UN and NATO.
Yeah.
200 to Roos, get US out of UN and NATO. 200 to Brent for being a good sport and pretending like he cares about anything the federal government. Here we go. Hector, here comes your downfall. RIP headphone users. That's a nap violation. Minus 100 to Hector. Now I need to get my hearing checked. Minus 100 to Hector for blowing out my eardrums. Plus 100 to Hector for sounding like my grandma trying to use his cell phone for the first time. You got points for that. Scientific Libertarians here. What's up, buddy? Roos, Grumpy wants his shitty Chinese microphone back. Minus 150. 200 to Hector for defining war powers. 100 to Lecter and Guy for having the best hat. Yeah, that was good.
Mean.
Fair.
Josh is here. What's up, Josh? Shout out to my boy Hector. 200 to Adam for carrying the lectern. Tim's here. What's up? Long live the American Empire. Well,
Tim Hale. Love that guy. That guy does such great work.
100 to Adam for his top-notch appearance, and 200 to Adam for being so sweet to my bestie, Nomi. Terry, just skip the positive comments. We don't want any of those anymore. This love fest thing. This isn't Oprah. Come on. All right, let's check the scoreboard here. Adam in the lead, 1909. Brent, 1387. Hector just behind, even after the nuclear audio meltdown at 1337, which isn't that lead? He's got lead. So Hector, third place. You tried to kill everybody with an audio, what is that, an EMP or whatever. How do you like it so far?
Give me a bump. I need a bump. That's all I know.
All right. Brent, second place. Unusual position for you. How are you feeling so far?
I feel demoralized. I feel like I just put a call in the chat to help me out. I cannot lose to a ginger on St. Patty's Day of all days. It'd be embarrassing. Help me out, everybody, please.
All right. Adam, first place. They're throwing shade at you. What do you think?
I'm just gonna keep being nice and try to answer honestly and openly, and enjoy myself. That's the plan.
All right. Cool. Let's get back into it. Brent, to you. This category is sponsored by Zoom Beyond Shrooms. Check out zoomtrip.com, xumtrip.com. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Brent, the question is in the category drug policy and drug policy reform and cannabis legalization. Should marijuana be legalized nationwide?
Yes, but this is the most unlibertarian answer. I don't consume cannabis. I'm not one of those people, weirdly. I think it's one of those credentials you sort of have to have as a libertarian. But I think cannabis actually has a lot of downside to it, and it's not talked about enough. And so I think that it should be legal, and people should be able to make their own choices with respect to what they put in their bodies and consume. So I will say yes, but heavily caveated, and just being like, hey, everybody, make an informed decision and know the risks and trade-offs when consuming anything.
All right. Adam, to you. Should recreational drug businesses have the same legal protections as other industries?
Other industries is a very large group of people. So I know there's certain licenses with having serving alcohol, checking IDs, things like this. So I would say if you categorize them in the same way you categorize consuming other substances with those same protections, then yes. But also, if you overserve someone with alcohol, or if some guy's obviously ripped out of his mind, he's behind the wheel of a car, we should consider, did you give the guy too much and send him home and not offer him an Uber? So if we're talking exclusively, specifically, pound for pound, they should have the same type of rights and, legal outs, but they should also be held to the same standards.
Interesting. Hector, to you, should banks be allowed to work with cannabis businesses legally?
Absolutely. Right now we're in a time when financial controls on anything really can mean life or death for people. Like if you are caught in doing the wrong thing the government doesn't approve of, whether it's in that cannabis industry or in another industry that is just not approved, you could lose your banking rights. The Canadian trucker story is a great example of what an entire group of people, just by espousing a political position, can lose their livelihoods overnight. Or someone moving furniture from one place to another in one building, in a big room, could do the same. And the reality is that this is a story that's just not about drugs. It's about the right to people to freely transact, to have access to commerce, to make a living. All those things actually are wrapped up into one, and why should any government really interfere in the private transaction between two responsible adults? They should.
Endorsed. Fully endorsed.
I think furniture movers should have banking access as well. So
Yeah.
Brent, to you, categories ending the war on drugs. Should adults be free to choose what substances they consume?
Yeah, that's just a general principle. It's it comes down to self-ownership. Do you own yourself, or does the government own you? Right? That's really the quintessential question that's being asked here. And so absolutely, and there's a lot of downsides to it. I think I mentioned some of the negative potential impacts of this, but there's a lot of upside to it as well, letting people be free. For example, I'm a huge advocate of psychedelics. It's helped me, it's helped a ton of people. The research that's out there is not going fast enough because it's such a controlled substance, and it's showing massive promise for people with PTSD, veterans, people with anxiety, depression, for smoking cessation, for alcoholism treatment, and it's being stopped by the government. They're blocking it. They're saying, you can't put this in your body. We know it's best for you, and we own you. Fuck that shit.
Also
Absolutely.
endorsed.
All right, Adam, to you. Should federal drug laws be repealed if states choose different policies?
This is a do states or the federal government have more power, one or the other? I think everything should be sent back to the states. I think the federal government is way too large. And, we vote for like one or two senators, one or two Congress people to represent us, and they barely do that. So, at a local level, at a state level, we have actually more power to vote for the states to exist in the way that we want them to exist. So, no, I think the states should have more power to decriminalize, make the laws we want to make. This is our state. This is a representation. It's much more accurate than what happens in DC. So I'm all about sending things back to the state. You don't want to live there? Hey, guess what? You don't got to live there. You can move somewhere else.
That's why I'm a refugee from Chicago. That's for sure. Hector, to you. Should nonviolent drug offenders be released from prison?
It's a no-brainer. Yes, of course. The people who are incarcerated for nonviolent crimes are not a danger to society to be removed. They're frankly, by definition, most of the time there is no victim. So on top of that, most of these people that we're talking about are simply arrested for simple possession. That's not harming anyone. Who's the person who's even complaining? It's just somebody who decided to, they didn't like someone standing on the street corner, or somebody who was young and didn't have much else to do, was hanging out with his friends, and they got in trouble because someone made it their business to get them in trouble. So yeah, this entire law enforcement, the way that that law is being practiced and made against people, has to stop, and it starts with releasing people who have no business being incarcerated, and and they need their lives back. And this is true of anybody. Again, even if they're moving furniture from one place to another, deserve to have their lives completely restored to them and given a fresh chance, and given new opportunities, even if they did nothing wrong, and they're just guilty of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. This is America. I thought this was America. God damn it.
Yeah. I will tell you, I went to prison. There was a guy who served close to 17 years for cocaine possession. It was not intent to distribute. I watched the guy released after 13 years he served. So I'm completely on board with that. And even the caveats, we have it was the FSA Act, and then COVID, Trump put an act in. Anyone who was not arrested for violent charges, even they plead down, if there's an initial charge for violence, they serve 50% of their time. So people in prison actually love Trump because they were going home for the same things. So I completely agree with you. Nonviolent offenders, like, get them back home, get them to their families. Thanks, thank you for saying it. Yeah.
Just to show how bad these laws are around drug offenses alone, is that if you, for possession, that's a great example. If you accidentally kill someone, or you do kill someone purposely, you're going to jail for a lot less time, like maybe 5 years.
Yep.
Compared to a drug offense offender.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. We could kvetch about that for a solid couple of hours. Most of the guys that I serve with, it's low-level drug offenses, and they're in federal prison. Like, someone else is raising their kids, and they're perpetuating this whole thing of like. And I know it's a game show, we should be answering questions, but I didn't have an opinion on prison justice reform until I went to prison. So I encourage everyone who says no, it's working just fine, go spend a week in prison. Very easy to go.
Yeah, I always say that, you think you hate the federal government until you get involved with them, and then you hate them more. Or if you like the federal government and then you get involved with them, you'll for sure hate them more. So, all right, back to it. Brent, to you, the category is gun control and the Constitution. Should states have the authority to enact gun restrictions that exceed the protections guaranteed by the Constitution?
Resounding no. Nobody has the ability to tell you you cannot protect yourself and you cannot defend yourself with whatever the fuck you want. If the government can have it, you can have it. Full stop. End of story. There's no argument. There's no way you can weasel away, some sort of hidey hole little way to get in no. You cannot infringe on someone else's right to protect themselves with whatever they want to protect themselves with.
Totally agree. Adam, to you, Should law-abiding citizens have to register their firearms with the government?
Fuck no. That's the short and sweet of it. No, no one should have any business knowing what I own and do not own. It should be no one's business. I had to fight for 6 months to get my gun rights back, both from the state of Florida and also DC, even though I served all of my time for a misdemeanor nonviolent crime. Took me 6 months to get it back. Now I buy a new gun every single month because I can.
Yeah, I always like to say the government shouldn't know how many tanks you own, right?
Mhm.
So, all right, Hector, to you, should the federal government be allowed to ban certain types of firearms nationwide?
No, I think it should. I think the right belongs to those who have the deepest pockets to afford what they want. Now, again, it comes down to are you hurting your neighbor with that? No. There's some people in this country who actually own F-16 jets. That's apparently illegal. But when you get to personal gun use, no. Suddenly that's the that's where they draw the line. I'm sorry, but the reality comes down to is if you're not hurting somebody, government shouldn't be involved in the matter at all.
Yeah, and even the taxes on guns hurt the poor. So I'm 100% with you on that. All right, Brent, back to you.
People can actually own F-16s privately.
Yeah. Brent,
Wow.
category is red flag laws and due process. Should due process protections apply fully to red flag laws?
This is where I got to abandon the sorry, Amity. Like, red flag laws shouldn't exist. Like straight up. Like, I know Donald Trump loves them. Pam Bondi really loves them. They want to take the guns first and then go to court later. But no, I don't think red flag laws are something that the government should be in charge of, right? Like, if somebody is going to commit a crime, they're going to commit a crime, and you need to punish that after the fact, not before the fact. We're not doing thought crimes. We're not going to do crimes before the fact or any of this other stuff. I know Palantir would like to, but just no, like, straight up, this needs to be a hard line in the sand.
Totally agree. Adam, back to you. Should judges be allowed to order gun seizures based on accusations alone? You're muted.
Sorry. In a perfect world where federal judges were unbiased in our confirmations of making sure that they get into such, I think we should be able to trust the process, the Constitution, Article 3, as it's written. We don't live in that time. We don't live with those people. So the answer is no. We have like very partisan people who are getting in the way of constitutional law, constitutional rights at a federal level, at judgeship levels. And I don't know what the solution is. Because anytime we talk about amending the Constitution and any of the articles, it's basically open season to go after all of our constitutional rights. But I think the best way to do it is to get a couple of people in Congress and the Senate who have some balls to impeach these people and remove them from their positions.
I agree. Hector, back to you. Should individuals have the right to face their accuser before losing constitutional rights?
Absolutely. Talk about due process rights regarding red flag laws. I mean, people can be the fact of red flag laws is you can be accused of just of anything. Convince a judge enough to just order somebody to police to go to your home, take your guns away, like break down the door, the whole thing. Have that you're being accused of something that could destroy your life. But the same thing applies to Department of Children and Families, where there's anonymous complaints about about children being mistreated. You have no idea what the accusation is. And somebody just knocks your door one day and says, I need to be in your house. I need to inspect everything, and I don't like what it is. We're taking your kids with us. I mean, this is up and down, really built into our system in the United States already. And the way to fight back on it is just be aware. Be 100% aware that these things happen, and right now you just got to protect yourself by mitigating against those things. It happens, so you have to be prepared.
All right, Brent, back to you. Category is surveillance, security, and civil liberties. Should national security justify mass data collection on Americans?
No, there's no justification, national security or other. You have a right to privacy as an individual. And the government has no right to invade your privacy under any circumstances. So, yeah, fuck off all the way.
Brent,
I
can I
agree.
push back there? Can
Yeah.
you define what an American is?
Can I define what an American is?
So protections that are, obviously I'm not a big Pfizer Warren Act. We talk about those things. What is an American? Who do those protections extend to?
Yeah, well, so I was talking more philosophically, right, from a rights standpoint, what somebody can and can't do to you, whether it's a government or otherwise, right? So, but if you want to say an American, though, like I would say, for the purpose of this game show, it is somebody who is a citizen of the United States, right? That's who's supposed to ostensibly get protections from the Constitution. It doesn't work that way, and government just says fuck you all the time and does what they want. But for your definition, it would just be any American citizen.
Same page. Same page.
All right. Adam, should government agencies be able to collect citizens' digital data without a warrant?
Sounds kind of like a violation to the Fourth Amendment. That's a fishing expedition is what it is. If you're looking to go look for something that doesn't exist, that's a violation. So no, either there is information to suggest that someone is breaking the law, you have evidence of that, and then you get a warrant that's signed off by a judge, and then you can go look. Sure, but up until then, absolutely not. No.
Agree. Hector, should police be able to use facial recognition technology in public spaces?
Ooh, reality is no. A surveillance state is not what we want. That is the same thing as a police state, where your daily behaviors can be tracked and monitored. Once your surveillance happens, then every other aspect of your life can be controlled by government, by politicians who want to seek an advantage.
Did we lose
Not
Hector?
just communities.
No, I
Did you lose me?
think we got you back. I got you
All
back.
right. All right, cool. So I was just saying that surveillance is tantamount to a police state. As if they can track every aspect of your life, so that implies also red light cameras, the cameras that read and record your license plates, that go, these flock cameras and that are
Maybe
going
try leaving and coming back in. You froze up like 3 different times while you were answering that one.
Stop
Sorry,
trying to buy fertilizer during the show.
Yeah. He's being surveilled as we speak. So enter your scores in the chat while Hector's figuring that out. Let's jump into the chat. The chat is hopping now. We're getting some action. All right. 100 to Brent for the Scooby-Doo murder mystery background.
Love it.
What?
200 to Hector for asking for a bump on the show. Is that a cocaine reference? There he is.
It wasn't, but you're right that they do call that the bump. Yeah, in Miami.
Miami, yeah, that's a good Miami reference right there. Crockett and Tubbs are now surveilling you. 200 to Brent. People shouldn't be told by the government what they put in their bodies. Points to Brent. Hector says a bump, but the hat says off a toilet seat. 100 and watch your hand.
Comment of the night.
Oh my god. I knew there was going to be comments. All right. Minus 100 to Brent for trying to take down a ginger on Ginger Acceptance Day. That's fair. 100 to Brent, free the weed. No, Adam, we shouldn't hold merchants accountable for customer tolerance. Minus 200. 69 to Adam because I'm too high for that answer. Ditto, Brent should lose another 100 for the hat. 100 to Hector for the Syrupian truckers.
Syrupian truckers, yes.
200 to Hector, 100 more to Adam for the endorsement. Oh, the endorsements are working out now. Phil Rhines here. What's up, Phil? 200 to Brent. Imagine if ibogaine was the go-to option. 200, fuck that shit points to Brent. He's going to get a bunch of those, I think. 200 to Adam for states' rights. 200 to Adam. The Federalists got it wrong. Here we go. 100 to Brent. F that shit. 100 to Adam, ditto from Casey. 100 to Lectern Guy for the French doors, hashtag cultural appropriation. 200 to Roos, no victim, no crime. 200 to Hector, no prison for furniture movers. 200 to Adam for the personal experience and compassion of his fellow prisoners. 100 to Hector for his mic volume changing every time he talks. No, it's good. Don't mess with him. It's good. Give him points. It's good. I think I can hear out of one of my ears right now. I'm good. Okay, I'm here. We can start the show. Thanks, Darren. We were waiting. Glad you're here. 100 to Brent on self-ownership, but still go read your birth certificate. You are a corporation, and that certificate gives the government the right to acquire debt in your name.
I didn't say shit.
Minus 100 to Hector for the volume issues. No, the volume issues are good. Lay off Hector. It's 200 to Brent, even if the Constitution didn't have the 2A. Phillips here, what's up? 200 to Adam for the implied goal. No. Personal foul.
It's in the closet.
Stop. Yeah, no. Stay put. Don't touch furniture or guns, please. 200 to Adam for buying a new gun every month.
It was 3 this month. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I love your posts. Your posts on that are epic. I love those. Fuck no gets you points. 200 to Brent and Adam. I didn't say hi to Dan. What's up, Dan? 200 to Adam, as FPC says. Fuck you, no. 200 to Hector for his gun answer. Everyone on this panel is based. 200 Brent. Red flag laws shouldn't exist. 200 to Brent for free.
Take it.
Did I proxy vote? I feel like I didn't sign shit on that. 200 to Brent. Don't apologize. Red flag laws should not exist in FPA and Bondi. Hey,
indeed.
Us in Florida, we hated her first, so we should get bonus points.
We did.
So 50 to Brent. I liked his answer. All right.
I said Pam Bondi. There's a list of reasons why she shouldn't be the AG, and the top list was it's my mom's name, and I just don't trust her.
Your mom's name is Pam Bondi?
My mom's name is Pamela. I do love her. You're going to put a woman in charge of being objective in reading the law and not being emotional. I think that's a bad idea.
Oh, boy. Yeah, you lost points for being muted, Adam. Points to Adam for getting some people in Congress with cojones. 200 to Hector for the Maha hat. You got hat points for it, and then lost points for it and got points. I don't know. 100 to Hector for using hell instead of fuck. LOL. 200 to Adam for the long no. Minus 100 to Brent for trying to manipulate the comments section. That's fair.
Do what I want.
Hector Maha's based entirely on red flag law thinking, outlawing and regulating where government has no business. Minus 200 hypocrisy points. 200.
Bite me. We have to do something. If nothing is bad as it is.
I'm on the anti-RFK diet where all I'm drinking is red dye 40 and other things. I'm doing the opposite.
McDonald's
diet.
cheeseburgers. I know.
Yeah.
Bubbly water.
There we go.
Yeah.
200 to Brent for living up to his last name. That's true. It's a base last name. Minus 50 from Adam for complicating the question. 100 to Brent for saying fuck so much. Minus 100 to Brent. Non-citizens in our borders also get constitutional protections. I'm with Amity on that one. 100 to Adam for the casual Fourth Amendment reference. 100 to Adam, get a warrant. 200 camera freeze points to Hector. LOL, best I can do. Minus 100 to Hector for streaming from his mom's Nokia phone. Yeah. Usually I don't feel bad, Hector. This time I actually feel bad. You're in like the abyss tonight. I don't know what's going on. Minus 200 to Hector for getting a phone call while using his
every
dial-up.
time.
I can hear the AOL
dial-up
spinning.
reference.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can't play Roller Coaster Tycoon at the same time doing a podcast.
Yeah. 200 to Hector for lag, but clearly nailing the surveillance answer. That was nice. Anarcho Cat is here. John, one of my all-time favorite memers. So based. 100 to Brent for rejecting red flag laws and principle. William's here. What's up, William? 50 to everybody for me being incredibly late. Oh, that was play to you. 200 to Brent, didn't sign shit. Points to Adam for justified misogyny. Misogyny. It's late. Come on. And I went to art school. I really am not supposed to be doing any of this. When's Adam running for Congress? Then we can call it Friendgress. Oh, I like that. And minus 100 to Hector for making my Skittles taste less red.
The least scientific mention.
Oh, this is fun. I'm having a good time.
It's getting messy.
Well, you gotta read that
let's
last
check out
one.
the score. Adam 43.65, Brent 38.87, Hector, while he could see us, 32.87. Let's jump back to it. All right, Brent. Categories: victimless crimes and mass incarceration. Should the justice system prioritize restitution instead of incarceration?
I'll go a step further. This is a justice question. You know, I mean, I'm philosophical. I want to talk about principles, and I think any system of justice, whether that be in a free society or whether it be in the statist paradigm we live, should prioritize restorative justice. Unfortunately, what we live in is a state where people make money off of incarcerating people. And there's a cottage industry of judges and attorneys and all these people that do probation and stuff that pop up around the justice system. Contractors, people that provide meals to prisoners, all this stuff. And it's really terrible. And it sort of distorts the purpose of justice, which is supposed to hold people accountable and restore somebody who's been injured by somebody else. And so I think any system of justice should prioritize, like, if you've harmed a family, you should spend the rest of your life or some period of your life trying to make it somewhat right in some sense and focus on those benefits accruing to the victims and the victims' families, not the state and its cronies.
I gotta address this one right away. This is a pressing issue. It's 9 p.m., dude. No, so Amity only is on bright mode all the time, and so it's always like noon in our house. So it gets early here. So I'm gonna address that. All right,
Wait,
back to you, Adam.
With Amity?
Allegedly. Yeah.
She's one of my favorite people. So she keeps me honest on Twitter. She asks us questions. So nothing but respect.
Nice. All right, Adam, to you. Should people be jailed for crimes where no one was harmed?
God, so harmed is a big word. You would have to define harmed. Okay, so if I was in a money laundering scheme where I defrauded 10,000 people and all of their retirements were taken away, would you consider that harm, right? Are we talking about physical harm, monetary harm, emotional harm? You would have to define that. I think it's an overarching concept of, what are we jailing people for? Like the victimless crimes, I completely agree with Brent's previous answer. There's no reason why we have people in prison for decades over drugs. As far as like restitution and getting people to have better lives back in their community, I think that community service is one of the best ways you can actually deter future crime. But as far as the question, harm it's too generalized of a term to give you a definitive yes or no.
Very politician.
You'd have to answer it. Like, what do you mean by harm? I'm willing to debate that. What do you mean by harm?
Define is, right? All right. Hector, to you. Should government policies that increase prison populations be reevaluated?
Absolutely. Right now we have a two-tier system of justice in this country. Those who got money and those who don't. So yeah, if you don't got money, you're going to be in prison. And that's because somebody's profiting off of you being there, like Brett said. And the other system, the have-nots, really comes down to we have a society, a prison system that's based on kids for cash. So you start them young, keep them in jail for as long as you can. And if that involves the sex trafficking and the Epstein files that goes unnoticed, I mean, we really do have a two-tier system of justice that for those who do have that access and power and those who don't. I mean, look at the son of Biden that got pardoned, right? The entire Biden family getting pardoned right on the way out, and despite being guilty of crimes that we all believe are victimless crimes too. So it's just the difference is obvious. So yeah. We've got to revisit all these policies that say prison populations, the biggest prison population on planet Earth in its entire history that exists right now in the United States, yeah, it needs to be reevaluated 100%.
Agreed.
Totally agree.
Agreed.
Brent, to you, categories free markets versus government regulation. Should economic innovation be prioritized over regulatory caution?
I think that's a false choice, right? Like the market is the most effective regulator that's out there. And I think anytime you have the government involved in trying to regulate the market, at least ostensibly, what you see is a bunch of parasites swoop in and realize that that regulatory apparatus can be used to enrich cronies and to sort of stifle competition, stifle innovation, and funnel more money into the hands of fewer and fewer people. And so I think that it's some total false choice. Like the free market, if completely left alone, will regulate a bazillion times better than the government being involved in the process.
I agree. Adam, to you, should businesses be free to operate without extensive federal regulation?
Yes, but it also depends on the industry. So if we're talking about things like I make plushies for a living, there's no reason why I have to be involved in that. If I'm a carpenter, even at a state licensing level, as long as you're insured to, take care of your people who are on site and you can be, adequately come after if you don't finish a job, you're good to go. But there are some industries where, actual literal lives are at stake. You should have some type of protections that extend. So federal regulation, again, send it back to the states. Live in the state you want to live in.
All right, now you're pandering to the furries in the audience, but I'll allow it. All right, Hector, to you. Should government regulators decide how industries operate?
Absolutely not, right? Industries are businesses that figured out a need that is being unmet in the market, and all that government bureaucrats are going to do is make things more expensive, lower the quality, and penalize people with crimes, and frankly, it ruin the joy of what the market can provide. So, are they ultimately helping? No, they're destroying civilization. This is a cancer to our lives. This government bureaucracy that exists now. If there was ever a justification for it, I can't recognize it at all. I'm sorry, Adam. Can't recognize it at all for looking at what we have in place today. Absolutely none. I mean, we're looking at from everything from occupational licensing to why a sticker needs to be on your car, or why a kill switch needs to be on your vehicle, and you have to pay an extra $2,000 for the privilege of having a bureaucrat declare that your car is dead whenever they feel like it. So yeah, this is not working. No, guys, we need a way out of the system, and for practical purposes, I'm very glad we're here to talk about it. But we need to move on with a better politics, better marketplace of ideas there too, so that we can and that will start the process of fixing this. But ultimately, we can decriminalize people's expression of choice. That would be an amazing start. But no more government bureaucracy. We're well past any conversation of saying more is better.
I totally agree. Brent, to you, the category is deregulation and economic freedom. Should government permission be required before entering most professions?
Exactly 0 professions. Do you know that you have to get a permission slip from the government to rearrange flowers in a lot of jurisdictions? There's the most insane regulatory apparatuses, which is really just rent-seeking behavior, right? These are the coalition of people that are in that industry that are trying to keep competitors out and trying to keep prices up and try to keep quality low. And that's all that this serves, right? So if you are a medical doctor, for example, like a lot of people like to point to that as like, oh, we need to have licensing around that. You don't need that. You can have medical associations that determine who's qualified. And the ones that are reputable will get people certified, and the ones that aren't will weed the bad ones out. We don't need the government involved in this at all, 100% full stop. End of it.
Right. And insurance companies will make sure that they're, if you're insured, they'll make sure that you're qualified.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not insured, that's on you to make sure that they're insured. So
we have mechanisms.
Did you know, this is interesting. If you have student loans and you are a doctor, if you do not keep up with your student loans and your licensing, they will take away your degree. You can be board certified, be the best doctor in the area. But if you're just like, hey, I can't afford my student loans or the licensing, I don't believe in the AMA, what they're supporting, they'll just let you not be a doctor anymore. It's one of the only industries that actually cannot form a union are doctors.
Really? That's cool.
Yes.
Or that's an interesting fact, I should say. The one I saw the other day is that it takes 500 hours of training to braid hair in Louisiana. Like, I mean,
And if you get a felony for speeding too fast in Florida, you can never cut hair again.
yeah, it's
Hey,
just
Free,
it's
don't
so
forget
crazy.
we have to support our unlicensed furniture movers.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Especially on the federal level. All right, Adam, does economic opportunity increase when regulation decreases?
Absolutely, every single time. Every single time. I've said this, God, on almost every podcast in the past 5 weeks. The administrative state is actually what is drowning our economic state. You have 5 to 6 administrative workers doing nothing really when you have an actual worker who is on the job administering the work that is being hired out to do. So yes, every single time when you decrease regulation, you increase economic prosperity.
Absolutely. Hector, should government control over industries be rolled back?
Well, hell yeah! I mean, I just finished saying this before, but to beat to beat this plane, right? The it's not roll back; it's chainsaw this bitch, right? This is it, right? This is the biggest obstacle to civilization is the current government bureaucracy. It's not. It's this regulatory state, this administrative state, as Adam puts it. This is we need the unlicensed furniture movers in charge of things, not the licensed bureaucrat, attorney slash politician that's dictating from on high and from 2,000 miles away. I like to say, based in Florida. In Miami, I'm closer to Havana than I am to Tallahassee, and that's also true of Tallahassee to D.C. We're governed by such far away dictates that the only way to stop this is just to stop listening to them. Just do it a different way, and avoid this question of regulation as much as possible, through innovation, or ultimately through civil disobedience. But we're there because if you're going to need to survive or grow economically and prosper with your family, you're going to touch these points of confrontation at some point. And you need a community, and this is that community here, and I'm grateful to be here with you all. Thank you.
Excellent. All right, Brent, back to you. The category is government intervention in healthcare and medicine. Should medical licensing laws be loosened to allow more healthcare providers?
Yeah, 100%. It's like the rent-seeking question before. It's the same thing. And I think you're going to see a lot more granularity and specialization in medicine. I don't think everybody needs to be a full-blown medical doctor to treat patients. And we don't even see that in today's model, right? Like if you go to the doctor, what are the chances of you seeing a physician's assistant or somebody who's definitely not a medical doctor? It's pretty high right now. And so I think it would help with the shortages. I think it would help with more targeted care for patients. You don't have to be everything to everyone. You could be specialized in one thing. And so I think just forcing everyone into that unidimensional paradigm is really bad for patients. It's bad for cost. It's bad for access. It's bad for availability. And I think we should all roll it back.
I agree. Adam, to you. Should patients be free to choose treatments that regulators have not approved?
Absolutely. It's your body, it's your choice. That's what I've heard from, at least one side of the fence. This goes back to ivermectin. This goes back to patient care during COVID. There was a gold standard of treatment during COVID where upper respiratory infections were always treated with steroids. That's how we dealt with these things. And the government got involved and said, hey, stop doing those things. And people ended up on ventilators and dying because of it. So I'm sorry if YouTube doesn't like that, trying to start twice, but no, absolutely. It is very important for people to understand that, your medical process, you are the quintessential, the first stop in what happens to you or doesn't happen to you. I don't want to go to a MAID system where your only option is is, self-selecting out of things. I don't think that's the best way to go through it, but I also don't think it should be out of the realm of, if I have debilitating cancer and, it's just going to be painful for the next 5 years of my life and it's stage 4, I should be allowed to exit the way I want to with dignity. So hopefully that's all of it.
All right. Hector, to you, should federal agencies control which medicines Americans can choose?
So the federal government's been in charge of healthcare for the last since 2010, right? So what does it look like now? It's more expensive. There's waiting lines, and of course we weren't even prepared to handle a scamdemic properly. To have the science ready to say no, this is not as big of a problem as you think it is, Mr. Fauci, and we can't even say what a vaccine is anymore. If I'm still allowed to say that, hopefully on this on YouTube. But the point is that no, I think they've run their course. I think there's a question. I'm wearing this hat, and the reality is that our lives are the more recent 9/11 of our day has been this issue regarding medical freedom, and that's why I wear the hat on this one beautiful day, because it represents this idea that they got it wrong because the bureaucracy took over healthcare and has ruined healthcare for not just the United States but for the world. And our answers are not going to come from this industry anymore that's being captured by bureaucrats and controlled special interests. It's going to come from freedom. It's going to come from the market. And it's already happening, whether it's naturopaths or whether it's people just trusting Dr. Mom, or going back to old health remedies that worked 1,000 years ago still work today, frankly. And we don't need as much of this medical intervention that's become such commonplace today. We don't need as much doctors as they say we need them, right? So there is a lot of misinformation in this area. In regards to just public health in general, and a lot of the things that we're dealing with now is getting to the bottom of what the truth is and what isn't, and that's a lot of what I'm glad to be here to represent.
Good stuff. All right, Brent, to you, the category is tariffs and protectionism versus free trade. Should trade barriers be used as a tool of economic policy?
No, that is the dumbest thing ever. This is one of the things that Trump is so hard left on. I don't know if people know this, but trade barriers like this are protectionist. It's a progressive trade policy. It's historically a leftist trade policy, and it's basically DEI or participation trophy awards. It's saying that you can't compete, and you're trying to exclude competition from somewhere else, and it's just dumb. It makes us poor. People don't realize that tariffs, even despite Trump's claims, they're not paid by foreigners. The 100% of the tariffs are paid by Americans, 100%. So every time you see, we brought in $5 billion from tariffs, no, you didn't. You taxed Americans. You made us poorer, and you made everybody in the entire country worse off, and you didn't, accomplish anything of value. They're horrible. They should be completely thrown in the dustbin of history. They never worked. They've never worked once, and they're just not good. Not economic policy.
I agree. All right, Adam, to you. Should the government impose tariffs to protect American industries?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think the easy answer is no, absolutely not. I think the American market should be free and open, and we should be able to buy and invest and have products from wherever we want, because if we're a free market, we're a free market. Now, if it comes down to other countries manipulating their own markets to maybe get a leg up and undersell, I would encourage our markets to be just as clever and play the same games. So no, I don't think we should limit what American taxpayers can and cannot acquire or possess. I think our free market should actually be a free market, but it's not. So we should get there.
I agree. Hector, to you. Should politicians be able to restrict imports to protect jobs?
So this is an interesting conversation. We're Americans, as wealthy of a country as we are, as a culturally linked to the free markets as we are should be able to trust free markets to resolve these questions. I say that, and then I say I have to hold my other hat and says we deal with realities of other countries manipulating systems and subsidizing trade against goods here, and that's a legitimate problem because we are asking people to buy. We're allowing goods to be artificially dumped here at a lower rate than what we're than some. Basically, is being taxed in a foreign government against their interest to manipulate the economy here, and the answer to that is not easy. But we can trust our free market instead of the principle is, as Brett would say, is that we have this beautiful system that we trust to resolve these things that with freedom, not regulation. And that's the point. We don't have to choose winners and losers in the market. And frankly, the whole system depends on this idea that someone knows what the solution is and can anticipate how it will work, but it never works out that way. So the free market still comes back to being this beautiful system where millions and millions of consumers can get together and use their wallets to define what's the best solution out of this, instead of AI or bureaucrats using AI or bureaucrats themselves using their own imagination to figure it out for us. So we can trust our markets, we can trust ourselves ultimately, and we don't have to be linked to bureaucrats to this.
I just want to add one thing. Like people oftentimes say like, oh, these foreigners are ripping us off. And yes, they can manipulate markets. Yes, they can tax and subsidize to flood us with cheap goods. But let's understand what's happening here. We're giving them shitty fiat paper and they're giving us cheap goods. You know, like we're winning in that trade every single time. So I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
I would push back just a little bit. Are the goods we're getting for, cheap cost actually retaining value like the goods we were getting 20 years ago? I think when we continue to cheapen the cost of things, we cheapen the life of those things. So I would say that at some point we're going to hit equilibrium with our fiat paper currency and the goods and services we're receiving from those countries. At some point, they're going to have to hit equilibrium. Otherwise, we get war again.
Endorsed.
All right. Brent, to you, the category is borders and citizenship policy. Should immigration policy prioritize economic needs over strict quotas?
It's a hard one because I'm a free market guy, and I believe that people should be able to move. As Adam got caught up in this whole moving scandal, as the lectern should be able to move from point A to point B freely, so should human beings. I'm a free person, and if I want to go, let's say I want to work on Adam's campaign, but I live in Uruguay. Adam says, hey, I'm going to put you up in my house and I got your food covered and you can work for me and I'm going to pay you. And I'm like, yo, bro, cool. I love what you're doing in Manatee County. I want to, where can I sign up? And I should be able to just go to Adam's place and participate in his campaign. And when I'm done, I take a plane back to Uruguay and that should be the end of it. There should not be any friction whatsoever in that process.
Yeah, I agree.
Adam, to you. Should the federal government strictly enforce immigration laws at the border?
It depends on the time that we're in. I think there should be a time of, do we know who's coming over? Do we know who's going to be here? Do we know if there is a super saturation point in our culture to where we lose what makes America, the great America that we believe we live in? So I think a lot of it comes down to, is there a funnel in place? I think there are people that are going through tragedies worldwide. I think we're actually involved in a lot of them, even probably starting some of them and engaging in a lot of them. So obviously there are going to be some people that we displace based on the actions that we do. So with an open heart, I can say it is good to take care of people who actually need help. But we do need to know who is coming here, because if we want to continue to play World Police or World Bank or World Health Organization, then we have to be consistent and we have to make sure that we do hold the ability to do that. I think that means that we have to have good systems in place to make sure that we can continue to do that. Otherwise, who's going to take the refugees?
I like it. Hector, to you. Should states have more authority over border security policies?
Hell yeah. For that matter, I want everybody to, after this show is over, to Google United Nations replacement theory. The second thing I'm going to ask you guys to do is recognize the words of former, or he's not past, U.S. Supreme Court Associate Justice Antonin Scalia, that defines sovereignty as the ability to control who's on your territory, who's in your property. So that definition of sovereignty is the old. It links back to a very old tradition of this definition of self-control, and that links back to, of course, immigration. So if we are really 50 states, if we're really a sovereign nation, if the country, if our state like Florida is supposed to be, and I've written this to our governor here, is supposed to be sovereign, then it should have some ability to do that. The question is how to do it in a manner that's respectful to basic human rights, right? I firmly believe that if you're here in this country, you should let us know that you're here, right? You should not just tell us when you're in trouble, right? Not be here to be a burden on this public welfare systems that exist. This has been the perennial question since time immemorial in this country about that what's driving immigration, right? It should be the market, but instead of bad incentives like the welfare system that's being given protections or benefits that are being given away for anybody who just shows up. So yeah, I think the states should be able to control some of these their borders. They should be able to offer people an opportunity to bypass even the federal government, who's terrible at immigration policy, terrible, that has created an underclass in this country, that has undermined the rule of law, and has, in other words, has empowered drug cartels and human trafficking and sex trafficking throughout this country. It's into being a madhouse. So if you believe that states should have more power, absolutely, and it goes without any doubt that the solution is going to be a local governments, state governments taking control of these issues, because honestly, it's our communities that are paying the price every day.
Right. Last three questions of the night. First one is to you, Brent. Category is decentralization, free markets, and stateless alternatives. Should society move towards systems based on voluntary cooperation rather than centralized control?
Yeah, like yesterday. We have the technology now to do stuff that we couldn't dream of 45, 50 years ago. We have all of these tools available to us now to completely shed central control and bureaucrats running all of our lives. And like I said, owning us instead of us actually owning ourselves. We can do this like today. We need a critical mass. We need maybe some parallel systems to emerge. I know the government fights every single one and makes them illegal, so it's difficult to build parallel systems. But we have the ability to, but people need to believe in freedom. And this is a big problem right now because people don't actually trust in freedom. People are skeptical. They think that if we have a free market, the society is going to burn down. It's going to be Somalia. And I don't know how to combat that, but I would just encourage people to look into some people who have explored the ideas of free society. David Friedman, for one. Stefan Molyneux wrote a book. Bob Murphy, been on my show before. Awesome guy. Wrote a book called Chaos Theory. People have thought through how a free market society could work in a decentralized fashion in a voluntary way without centralized government control. And I encourage people to give it a shot, read some literature on it, open your mind and your imagination on how we could build a better world, with better communities, being better people, and also through technology.
Absolutely. Great answer. Adam, to you. Should communities have more power than federal authorities to govern themselves?
Depends on what they're doing. I know in Florida, we just, the House had a bill to dissolve HOAs. HOAs are basically establishments, developers coming in, they put someone on the board forever. So they always have forever control over HOA communities. And, not everyone can afford 50 acres. Sometimes the best they can do is HOA communities for their kids and for their social status. So I think we have these microcosms of of governments that actually do exist, these little micro communities that do exist. And with the HOAs being dissolved, I think it's a good step in the right direction. Should federal governments be able to come in and have more power over these communities? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think the federal government's on, I mean, the antithesis of it was we're not supposed to be governed at large. We're supposed to be governed at minimum. That's how our country was founded. So anytime someone asks me, should the federal government have enough power to come in and overturn what individual communities, individual states, counties, cities have done, the answer is always no. But we're getting away from that as well. Home rule in our states is going away. We have state legislators that have more power to control our counties at a local level than the counties have ever had alone on themselves. So we're in a very messy place right now. And it's not just the federal government. It is bleeding and eking out into local counties and cities as well. So pay attention, watch your local politics, whether you're an anarchist or not. Still be involved, still look, still have opinions, still vote, please. For the love of God, please.
I like it.
Amen.
All right. Last question of the night to you, Hector. Should people rely less on centralized institutions to solve social problems?
100%. The incentives are local, and as Adam says, as Adam pointed out, in our state of Florida, the state government's taking over more and more power from local governments, budgeting, zoning, and construction. So these questions, when you remove these decision making away from the people that are impacted, you get tyranny. You get not just inefficiency, you get absolute tyranny. You have no control over who's you have actually no control of the things that impact your life the most. You have no idea what's even happening or why decisions are being made, and without that information, you are subject to the whims of this tyranny, frankly. And I would say that I actually literally wrote a published 2 weeks ago. I published in the Miami Herald about this subject, and I said we have like 300 elected legislators in Florida compared to like 800. No, it's 1,200 in New Hampshire, little New Hampshire. So I said, well, why don't we just increase the number of legislators we have in the state? Why? Because at least they'll be elected by people, by fewer and fewer sections of people that special interests, lobbyists, and those that entrenched bureaucracy can't control. So if we at least did that, if we broke down those systems and decentralized systems, then we can exert more influence as people. In other words, if it doesn't work, secession. And they let me actually publish that. So I'm telling you, Florida can go it alone. South Florida can go it alone. Florida is already a big enough state that it doesn't even need the scrap. It can break up into different parts.
All right. Enter your scores in the chat if you have not done so. Tell us who won. Tell us what you thought of the show. Share it out again if you don't mind. Oh, the chat is flying now. Let's jump into it. Points to Adam for roller coaster tycoon reference. Minus to Brent for using air quotes. Minus to Brent for pretending to be a philosopher. Oh boy. Points to Brent. The justice system should not be a for-profit system. Restoration and restitution is the key. Points to Brent for being the Prince of Darkness. Black on black on black. Minus to Brent. Points to Brent. That last sentence, bro. Points to Hector. Points to Adam. You're one of my favorite people too. Oh, the kiss up points there. Points to Adam for nuance. Minus 100 for not knowing what the word harm means, though. Points to Hector for being frozen. Let them go. Let kids go. Minus to Brent for paying more attention to the comment section than his opponent's answers. Points to Hector for son of Biden. Points to Hector for Hunter Biden reference. Points to Brent, free the markets. Points to Brent for based economics. Points to Adam for plushies. There you go. There's the furries. Points to Brent. How's he doing? Winning?
No, William, not.
Thanks for the bump on Biden. Lots of coke there. Minus to Adam for thinking the government can regulate better than the industry itself. Minus to Adam for not understanding property rights and environmental torts. Points to Hector for government destroying civilization. Points to Hector. Regulation by government ruins the market. Minus to Adam for making an exception. Points to Brent for his consistent green screen, complete with the Tiffany lamp.
That's not a green screen. Come on now.
Points to Hector for his Irish spirit and Irish name. Points to Adam. We don't need permission slips to do business. Points to Brent for rejecting all permission slips. Minus to me because he represents the government on my favorite game show. Yeah, that's fair. Minus to Brent for not understanding the public safety concerns related to unregulated floristry. Points to Adam. You have beautiful hair. Points to Brent for being certified fresh. Points to Adam for the medical Easter egg. Points to Adam for the globe in the background. Nice try. We live on a flat earth.
Tomato.
Points to Adam for realizing the administrative state snuffs out economic prosperity. Points to Adam, free enterprise. Points to Adam, the administrative state is the real swamp. Points to Brent for the answers I missed before I joined the show. Points to Hector for being in a colony of New York State. Yeah, it feels that way.
Yeah.
Points to Hector for not listening to bureaucrats. Points to Hector if he says secession. He did it. Points to Brent for not having to wait 6 months to see a doctor. Minus to Brent for not just saying, didn't I just answer this like 2 minutes ago? Hey, stop paying attention at home. Points to Hector for talking, speech, or preach it, brother. Can I get an amen? Points to Brent for understanding medical specialization and access. Points to Adam, your body, your choice. Points to Adam for switching to herbal essence. That was a smart choice, apparently. Points to Adam for the COVID tyranny answer. Points to Brent for the proper use of paradigm in a sentence for free. Yeah, fuck you. Points to Adam. Also, wasn't right to try. Passed during Trump 1.0 administration. -2 to Adam. I love a good maid costume. I have no idea. Points to Adam for mentioning horse paste. Points to Hector for scandemic. Points to Hector for COVID PTSD like the rest of us. Points to Hector, great answer, but I forgot why. Points to Hector for trusting Dr. Mom over Dr. Fauci. Propaganda, fear laws are what allopathy medicine was built on. Tear it all down. 200 points to Hector. Points to Hector for scandemic. 1 trillion points to Terry for all that she does. Please use those points to clone her. I don't think they're fiat points. I've been very clear about that. We can't use them for anything useful. Points to Brent for understanding progressivism. Points to Brent for calling out leftism of tariffs. LOL, Brent makes me laugh. Getting so insulted by stupid government. Points to Brent on tariffs. Points to Brent quoting the speech from Billy Madison.
Yes. Yes.
Points to Adam. The American market should be free and open. Points to Adam for the easy no. Points to Brent. Trump is hard left, but too many people don't know their right from their left. Check my post. There is no right and left. Points to Hector and government-controlled healthcare. Points to Adam. My body, my choice. Points to Adam. Oh, good question. I bet Terry... William, that's 2 in a row where you slandered me. Points to Brent. He added his 2 cents for 100 points. 68 to Adam for having an open heart, and another 103 for taking care of people. That's Terry math right there. I just got here to bring out the... No, don't do that. Don't do that. But thanks for stopping by. 200 Uruguayan points to Brent. Another 100 if Free messes up the pronunciation. Did I mess it up? I'm not even sure. -36 to Hector for trying to make me Google something. Yeah, that sounded like homework. Points to Hector for the excellent SCOTUS reference. Here we go. More Uruguayan points to Brent. Another... Oh, no, that's the same one. How did that come up choice? Hector drinking a little Federalist Kool-Aid. I dig it. 100. Welcome, Lemmy. -13 to Hector. Did he invoke the filibuster, or is he just trying to out-talk Scott Horton? Points to Hector for caring about the locals. Points to Brent for parallel systems. Points to Brent for shouting out the great Bob Murphy. He's awesome. And happy St. Patty's Day to Bob Murphy. Points to Brent. Truth. We need to build parallel systems. Yes. Hashtag agorism, free markets, and the counter economics. HOAs are soccer mom Nazi clubs. Points to Adam. Points to Adam for local governance. Points to Adam for the hair flip. Fabulous. Points to Hector, go local. Points to Hector, incentives are local. Points to Adam for not dropping the soap. Points to Hector
Allegedly.
for beef tallow. Points to Hector for wrapping it up nicely to lead it back to tyranny. Points to Brent for flipping the birdies. And I love this show. Appreciate you, William, other than when you were very mean to me earlier. And all right. Final check of the points. Oh my God, was it close? Let's
Brent
check
took
it
it.
out here. Adam pulls it out. It was going back and forth. It was pretty wild. 78.80. Brent 77.95. Hector 71.43. Hector, third place. What did you think, buddy?
I had the most negative points. I'm the winner.
That's a measurement. That counts.
It is 100%.
Plug everything you got going on, Matt.
Appreciate you all for inviting me. Free, the Terry, Amity. Thank you all for having me, for the great guests. You can find me at Roos for Florida on X, on Facebook, on Instagram. You can find me there. Roos for Florida. It's on my name right here. And if you're interested in alternative medicine, if you're interested in cannabis, kratom, any other naturopathic medicine, it's a big community out there in Florida. And if you're in Florida, drop me a buzz. Florida can help. Florida can, because people can. And that's our plug-in. If you're in Miami, come stop by our Libertarian Party of Miami-Dade County meetings, where we meet every second Tuesday of the month over at Duffy's Tavern on 57th Road. And just great to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, great having you. Brent, your first non-win. What did you think?
I was just happy to be on the show tonight. I wasn't even originally scheduled, and Terry reached out. I was like, hell yeah, especially that Adam is on here, and I got to meet Hector for the first time. This has been a wonderful experience. Chat was awesome. Laughed my ass off. Had the best time, man. Like, seriously, I love being here. Love what you all do with the show. Just happy as a clam.
Awesome. Plug your stuff.
Yeah, so the big one is Aiming Up Podcasts. I've had back-to-back Floridians, by the way. Had Amity on last, and then today, I'm not sure if you caught the live stream, I had Martha Bueno on with George from the Tin Men. So we really had a great time. So we had a lot of Floridian content lately, but we talk about a lot of things. Had Rob Yates on the show a bunch of times. We do consciousness, we do science, we do politics, we do philosophy. I love it. That's my passion project. And then obviously Narco Syndicate Clothing, doing that partnership with Maj Charay. Love that dude. All the BGM solutionary merchandise in the store, 100% of the proceeds go to supporting his solutionary center, trying to buy the building. So do that, or just reach out to Maj. She's got a give, send, go thing. I donate all the time. I just love what he's doing. He's out there doing the work, and I encourage everybody to give him a follow, give him a shout, give him some money, whatever. Great dude.
Yeah. And here's where you can find Brent. Aiming Up Podcast on X, at B Gets Better, and anarchosyndicate.com for the merch. Appreciate you, brother. And Adam, second time on the show, kind of kicked off YouTube last time, won this time. What are you thinking?
I had a great time, actually. Love Brent. Had a great time with him on his podcast, Aiming Up. Big fans of Martha and also Maj. So he's hanging out with great people. I had a great time. I'm running for local office. I know it's politics and most of us are anarchists, but we can try to do better and be better. And if the system is ever going to work, it's going to be now. It's going to be when we're loud. So you can help me out by donating to my campaign, voteadamjohnson.com. We're not running a traditional campaign. I'm not smearing people. We're not doing negative campaigns. I actually ran a negative campaign against myself. I told everyone all the terrible things that I did up front so we can talk about the issues. So we're trying something different, trying something new. I can't promise to fix everything, but I can listen to you and try to be a guy you vote in who actually, is a voice of the constituents. So help me out, voteadamjohnson.com. I wrote a book if you want to read that. I think it's funny. It's on unlicensed.furnituremovers.com.
Awesome. Yeah. And here's those websites. The campaign website is voteadamjohnson.com. On X, he is Lectern Leader. And the book, Taking a Stand, is on unlicensed.furnituremovers.com. Thanks for doing this, man. Congrats on the win. Let's bring up Terry. What'd you think tonight, Terry?
I was just like hanging out back here laughing. I mean, you guys were all great. The chat was cracking me up. You guys were cracking me up. And you know, it's always fun when people who don't agree on everything can still have a good time together and come together on things that they agree on. And I always enjoy that. So everybody did a great job, including the chat, because they know I love them. So way to go, guys.
Who do we got Friday?
Oh, let's see here. What can we surprise people with? How about Dr. Simon Goddick?
Oh, hell
to
yeah.
to start
Love
out
Simon.
with. Yes, and he requested to do a few discussions with a gentleman by the name of Zach Debo. If you don't know him, his last name is D as in dog, EBO. And he goes by Zach Debo on X, and you can check him out there. And then to kind of really throw it all together, our friend and one of our teammates, Casey Rasmussen of They Both Suck podcast, will be joining us to throw a few wrenches in there for us.
Awesome.
Yep.
And yeah, you can check out me and Terry on X. I am at Smarter Game Show. She is Bats T76. I actually just realized I forgot to show Hector's slide. He is at Roos for Florida on X. Also, FL Can Do It. And check out their website, flcan.org. And you can get our merch at freedomsuperstore.com. The shorts for this show will be up on YouTube at Freedom Uncut. We're also on Rumble. Thanks again to Zoom. They are Beyond Mushrooms and Beyond Molly. That's zoomtrip.com, xumtrip.com. And we will be doing 3 more state conventions: North Carolina, March 27th through 29th, Texas and Colorado in April, and then finishing up at the National Convention in Grand Rapids in May. And thank you again to all of our subscribers. You are awesome. You can subscribe to us on X. And if you want to sponsor the show, email studio@freedomuncut.com. This was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you to everybody in the chat. The chat was lit tonight. Had so much fun. And we will be back Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Check us out then. And till then, be safe.